You don't lack talent, you lack volume. You try something 3 times, you fail, and you quit, like a loser.
So listen up. Here is the brutal mathematical equation that guarantees success. First, the diagnosis. Let's be perfectly clear about why you fail. It's not a mystery. It's a simple, flawed calculation you keep making. Your failure is rooted in one thing: delusion. You tell yourself you're missing some secret strategy, you're waiting for a lucky break, or you just need that one genius idea. But the reality, let's be honest, you're lazy. You cannot stand the boredom of repetition, and you are terrified of what failure teaches you. Most businesses don't fail because of a bad product. They fail because they can't get enough leads. The root cause is always insufficient action, period. And you have to get the sequence right. People get obsessed with mindset, but it is utterly worthless without execution. All your positive thinking is just a coping mechanism for doing nothing. And those brilliant tactics you read about, they are totally irrelevant because you lack the discipline to actually apply them at the scale required. Okay, but wait, what if I'm doing the wrong thing? I mean, what if I waste 100 days on a completely flawed strategy? That's a huge risk. That question right there is the perfect example of a loser's mindset. It assumes you can achieve quality without quantity. Just look at the data from the pottery class parable. It's simple. The group told to make as many pots as possible, the volume group, didn't just produce more pots, they produced better pots. The group that tried to make one perfect pot, they failed miserably. You know why? Because they had zero data. They were just paralyzed by theory. So what does this prove? It proves volume doesn't waste time. Volume creates clarity. Look, you can't make one perfect podcast when you have zero experience. It's impossible. But if you make 1,000 podcasts, you will brute force your way to figuring it out. Volume is the feedback loop. Inaction gives you nothing. So if clarity comes from volume, the solution isn't some new idea. It's a mathematical protocol, a protocol that enforces volume. And this isn't a suggestion, it's a law of business physics. It's called the Rule of 100. And the protocol couldn't be simpler. You perform 100 primary actions every single day for 100 days straight. No excuses. This is your non-negotiable input. If you want output, you have to provide the input first. The universe doesn't care about your feelings. So what are these actions? 100 warm reach-outs, 100 minutes of content creation, and yeah, you release at least one piece a day. 100 cold reach-outs, probably automated, and either $100 on paid ads or 100 minutes spent building those ads. Whatever your main lead gen levers are, you execute them 100 times. And let me be perfectly clear, this block of work happens before your real workday starts. This is the baseline, not the finish line. The objective here is so simple: 10,000 total reps. You hit a number that is so large, it statistically forces a result. You aren't hoping for a good outcome, you are manufacturing it by overwhelming the variable of luck. Okay, but isn't burnout a real thing? This just sounds completely unsustainable. It's obsessive. What about the psychological cost of all this? Burnout is a word invented by the weak to justify quitting. Your definition of passion is flat out wrong. Passion isn't the feeling of happiness while you work. Passion is the willingness to suffer for a cause you actually believe in. If the work feels too hard, it just means your cause isn't important enough to you. This is the central truth you need to internalize. Volume negates luck. With a large enough sample size, a positive outcome isn't some lucky break. It's a statistical inevitability. You stop hoping for a win, and you start calculating it. And if you need proof that this equation works outside of a spreadsheet, just look at the ultimate human algorithm for volume-based success. Look at the math behind Kobe Bryant. Forget the posters and the highlight reels. This is not about motivation. This is about math. A standard pro athlete wakes up around 8 a.m., does 2 training sessions. Kobe Bryant woke up at 4 a.m. By the time his competitors were even starting their first session, Kobe had already completed 2. He literally fit 4 full training sessions into a single day. He just doubled the input. And the effect of that simple mathematical change is just staggering. By doubling his daily volume, Kobe stacked up an extra 1,460 hours of practice every single year. You stretch that over 5 years, that's an extra 7,300 hours of deliberate practice. That's not a gap, that's an insurmountable lead. And this is what Kobe himself said about this algorithm. By year 5 or 6, it was just over. His competition could work as hard as they wanted in the off-season. It didn't matter. The mathematical gap was irreversible. They were never, ever going to catch up. So forget Mamba mentality. Success at that level is not about a feeling. It's about running a superior algorithm. The rule of 100 is just Kobe's training schedule applied to your business. It is pure mathematics. The volume of your inputs will always dictate the quality of your outputs. Comfort is a slow death. Subscribe for clarity. There's no cheap motivation here.